Hey up, and welcome to Corey's Corner. So I wanted to talk today about why I didn't upload last week on Monday. For people who don't know, I'm sure most people are aware, but I have a weekly schedule. So I'll upload every Monday, and I'll make more videos if I feel like it in between. Although I usually don't feel like it, to be honest. But I've been doing that consistently for a few months now, and so I missed that video on Monday. And I'm basically going to talk about why. In this video, why I missed that. So the audio for that video, because I uploaded that video a few days after, I don't know, Wednesday or some shit, I don't know, but I uploaded it not long after, right? But the audio for the video, I'd actually already recorded that before Monday, in preparation, whatever, but I couldn't upload it because basically what happened was I basically just took a bag of my shit, a backpack, and packed it with some stuff and just left. And the thing is, I basically ran away, right? So I'm at university, I'm doing all this studying and shit, and what happened is, this one night, after I recorded that audio, I went down to this pub, this Irish pub. It's the one I always go to, and I went with Jesse, right? My roommate, I call him Jesse Pinkman. I don't even know if I need to say it anymore, why, but there might be new listeners, whatever, but this is just my roommate, and I went out with him to this pub. I got very drunk, very, very, really drunk. Probably not the drunkest I've been since I moved out, but pretty drunk, right? But I was very happy, because I'd recorded this audio. I was very happy with it. My studying was going all right, so I was in a pretty good mood, right? But the thing is, just being around Jesse is just kind of annoying. First of all, the way he talks. I'll get to that more later because I'll talk about some other things he did. Also, we left that pub at I don't know, midnight, and I wanted to go to some other places. I was really drunk and I still wanted to go out and stuff, but he didn't really want to. I got the vibe that he didn't want to, but he just couldn't say it. But then also these places were closed, for some reason everywhere in the town closes really early, and all the bars and stuff, all the nightclubs are closed on the weekend for some fucking reason. I have no idea why. That doesn't make any sense to me, but anyway, yeah, apparently they were closed, and they actually are closed. He wasn't lying to me or anything, although I'm sure he would do that very happily. They actually are closed. You can check and shit on Google and whatever. So we had to go back, and I basically was just in my room alone, really, really drunk, and still full of energy, except I wasn't happy anymore, and I just felt so betrayed, because the thing is so this is where I basically just had a complete mental breakdown, right? Because I knew this was going to happen, obviously, and I'm sure I mentioned this in videos, but even before I moved out, way back in summer of this year. But I already knew I was going to go to university and nothing was going to happen. I wasn't going to meet anyone. I wasn't going to make really any friends. I already knew that was going to happen, right? But it just it just hit home. I don't know, there's just something when you're drunk, there's just something about it. It just feels a lot more raw, and I just it didn't make any sense at all. But I was really fucking angry, really angry at basically just everything. And I decided that I was basically probably gonna drop out, and it was very late at night, like I said. So I called my mum at 1 in the morning pretty much, and I was hey, I want to drop out, I want to come home and whatever. And she was oh, we'll talk about it in the morning and whatever. And that pissed me off even more, right? Because the thing is it just annoyed me that she couldn't, I get it now obviously, but I was drunk, so I wasn't thinking straight. But it just annoyed me that she wouldn't talk to me about it. But she's just very dismissive generally. I've talked about that to her a few times, and she's just oh, well, just move back here and get a job then. And I really, even though I don't like living here at all, I hate it, it's better than living with my mum, first of all, and moving back in near my family and shit in my hometown. It would be better than that. But also just getting a job and wage maxing, I just can't do it again. I hated it so much. Looking back, I definitely tried to gaslight myself into liking it more, back when I had a job, this time last year actually, which it's doesn't feel like a year. I definitely tried to make myself be oh, this isn't as bad as as it really is. I tried to make myself like it and shit, and I just don't like it. I hate wage cuckery. I just cannot be doing that. So even though I don't like it here and I probably don't belong here, I'll try and ride it out for as long as I can. Even if I'm doomed to fail, which I don't necessarily think I am, but that's not really the point. The thing is, if I am doomed to fail, it's I'll just spend as much time here as I can, because really, if I've got a wage max for the rest of my life, I'll try and like put it off for as long as possible, you know. But it annoyed me that my mum was just very dismissive of it. She didn't seem to care or whatever, and that annoyed me. So I called her on my phone and she like hung up or whatever. So then, because I was really fucking angry and drunk, like I'm not proud of this or whatever, but I like broke my phone. I like smashed my phone. My phone is already very damaged because I'd already smashed it like a bunch of times, but that was like the final straw for it, I guess. And it just like completely, if you turned it on, you could see like a light come on, but like it was like just it wasn't working at all. It was unusable. So I didn't have a phone, and I basically like went to sleep. And when I woke up the next morning, I was like, shit, you know, like obviously I fucked up. So I was like, well, I just got to go home. So I didn't have my phone or anything to like contact my family or anyone really. You know, I couldn't do that. So I basically like just like was like, okay, I'm gonna go home eventually, but I've got to like make some preparations to go and shit. So I packed like a backpack and whatever. I ended up getting like a knock on my window while I was doing this, right? This was like midday because I went to sleep very late, right? So this was like the middle of the day, and there was like a knock on my window, and I was like, I didn't know who it was, so I opened my window, like, because the thing is, like, it's just fucking weird to have someone knocking on your window, you know. And most of the time someone knocks on my window, it's like Jesse, because he locks himself out of the apartment, so I'm not like eager to you know, answer. But I opened up the curtains or whatever a little bit after the knocking had happened, and I looked out the window and I could see like my aunt walking away from the window, and she didn't see me, but I was like, well shit, obviously like my mum fucking sent her up here to like collect me or some shit, right? And the thing about my aunt and my mum is like, the thing is they don't really get along. You know, no one in my family really gets along, to be honest. The thing about them is like they'll make pretenses that they like each other when everyone else is around, but my mum is always fucking complaining to me about my aunt. My aunt is like 10 years younger than my mum, and my mum's like, oh, when she was born there was so much favoritism and shit, and she like complains about her and like how like bad she is like as a parent. And the thing is like her parenting style, because the thing is like my aunt came up with my cousin who's like, I don't know, like 10, and I like witness how she like acts as a parent, and she's so much more similar to my mum than my mum would ever like to admit, you know. This is the same aunt, by the way, who like during the summer, it was like my grandma's like a big like birthday. I don't know, it was like her 80th birthday or something like that. Like it was some big event, you know, and my aunt was there, and she kept like pissing everyone off. And like the thing is, my aunt does do some things that are like worth complaining about, but the thing is, no one said anything to her. And then as soon as she left to like move away, because that's the whole reason my aunt came down here as well, is because she lives way closer to me than anyone else in my family, and apparently they were in the area anyway, whatever that means. So you know, but when this big family get together had happened for this for my grandma's birthday, a bunch of my family had come in from like all over the place. But on this one particular day, my aunt had started to like make her way back to where she lived, right? And so everyone else was there except her, and they all started like complaining about her, and they were like, oh, I was going to say something, you know, I was about to say something to her if she did something else. And the thing is, like, I said this to my family at the time. I was like, well, now all of a sudden everyone's grown a pair of balls now she's not here. But no one was saying anything when she was here, and no one said anything to that. The thing is, I think I pissed my family off by doing shit like that, but to be honest, my family pissed me off. This is why I moved so far away. This is why I don't want to spend time with them, really. It's because they do stuff like this, you know. But so despite all like the complaining my mum does about my aunt, she'd sent her to come and like help me, except like obviously I had no way of knowing, right? So I just woke up and saw this. Anyway, then there was a knock on my door, and it was this like security guy who works for the fucking university, and he was like, hey, you know, like your aunt's here, and like, you know, your mum said she's here to like help you or some shit. And I was like, whatever, man, yeah, I'm coming, whatever. So I came out, and they basically like, I just had to like spend the day with my aunt pretty much. They didn't really they didn't pick me up to take me home or anything like that. They just hung out with me, and I like, the thing is, like, I didn't want to be with my family, you know, like I'd much rather be by myself. So I like said to them like, I'm fine, you know, like I don't want to drop out anymore. I changed my mind. It's okay, you know, I don't need anyone here. And they're like, okay, that's fine. So that was pretty much it with them. I mean, it was just like, it was really unexpected, and it was like, I kind of would prefer it, you know, hadn't have happened. But whatever. I had this backpack, and I just like put it on. I put like some clothes in there. I put my laptop in there, and that's pretty much it. I didn't bring up the phone because obviously there's no point. And the thing is, like, I wasn't mad about the phone because, like, obviously that's my fault because I'm like a retard, you know, like, I'm not like mad at anyone about that except myself. But like, it's just like you kind of, you don't realize how often you use that kind of stuff until you don't have it, you know. But like I said, I'd recorded this like video on for Monday, and this was on Sunday. I left. This was last Sunday. I basically just got on a fucking train, and I just left with my backpack. Because the thing is, that's just where I was mentally, right? That's just what I had to do. You know, I just had to get up and leave, even though like it doesn't really make any sense. Like I just had to go somewhere, even though I didn't, you know, really know where I was going. Anyway, I got on this train, and they had these like ticket people, like these people who come around the train checking your tickets to see if you've paid. And like I didn't have a ticket on me, you know. And there was this like guy who got on. There were these two girls that got on, and they were like giggling and stuff really loudly. That was pissing me off, to be honest. And then this dude got on, and he like sat down, and he was like the most stereotypical like chavvy black guy you've ever seen. You know what I mean? Like he had like a puffer jacket on, like one of those stupid little fanny packs they have that they probably have like weed in or some shit. And he just slumped down in the seat, and this train person was coming around, and this guy, but he looked like he could have had a mortgage and kids. He had like a full moustache and shit, and he was like slumped down in the seat, and like it was really funny because I could fucking overhear their conversation over at this corner of the train. And this guy was like claiming he was 15 and like he'd bought like a student's like ticket, because obviously they're cheaper, and he was like trying to convince this conductor that he was like 15, and the person, it was this like woman, and she just wasn't buying it at all, obviously, and she wouldn't leave it and stuff. And I get it, because it's their jobs, and you know, obviously this guy needs to fucking pay. But it was just pretty funny, this guy trying to convince her that he was 15, and he clearly wasn't. And like we pulled up at this one station, I don't know what fucking station, it was dark by now, it was like it's getting dark really early here anyway, but it must have been like 8 o'clock. If not later. And this like we pulled up at this station, and this guy came on, and he was like, either like, no offense or whatever, but like he was either really like mentally like special or some kind of drug addict, or both, I guess. And he got on the train, and he was like shaking and shit, and he was like really gummy and stuff, and he had like huge ears, and his like hands were like flapping all over the place, and he sat down, and he kept like scratching his arm. That's what made me think he's like a drug addict, because it's like if he hadn't been doing that, I'd just assume he was like no offense, but some kind of like autist who had like was like on the loose or some shit, you know, because he was by himself as well. But he was like, his clothes were really dirty and like tattered, and he was like scratching up his arms, and you could see like scars all up his arms and shit. So it looks like he's been like injecting himself with all kinds of shit. And he was just like muttering to himself, like these huge lips that revealed like these big gums, like with no teeth. And he was just like sitting at like across from me. And I wasn't sure how I felt about having this guy across from me. I felt like he could like attack me at any moment, to be honest. But the door slid open again, and the conductor came back out again, and the guy was just like, oh shit, and he just got up and he fucking ran down the length of the train, and we were like right at the end as well. I was at like the end carriage, so this guy just ran away. It was like the fucking Subhuman Express, basically, like just so many like weird looking people, like, because, and this journey, I was on this train for like a few hours, like 6 hours probably, and like, because like obviously you get bored and shit, and there's nothing to do really, and I didn't like bring anything to like entertain me or whatever, so I ended up like just walking up and down the train a bunch of times, and like I saw like this guy like looked like the most stereotypical like Reddit tier guy, like he was really fat, like balding, you know, like neck beard and shit, like slumped over his fucking computer. He was like his all his fat was like pulled up in his like lap, so he like tucked it into the seat and shit. Like he was so fat, he looked like that guy from The Whale. He looked like that. Yeah, the Subhuman Express. And eventually we like arrived in like London, and the thing is, it was probably a mistake to come home and like to be with my family, and like as soon as I arrived I basically regretted it, because like I had to like explain to my mum why I was there, and I basically told her what happened, and I was like, hey, you know, like basically I just fucking hate it there. And like my mum knows anyway I don't like it, because like when anyone in my family asks me how university's going, I always like lie to them. I always tell them like, hey, you know, it's going alright, you know, I'm part of a bunch of clubs, I have loads of friends, whatever. So I lie to everyone except my mum. I tell my mum like the truth, like I'm like honest with her, because at least I can actually be honest with my mum. But the thing is, like, I can't really, because as soon as I was in the car, like, she started fucking nagging at me. She was like, you know, life is what you make of it, all this shit. And she's like, you just need to keep trying, you know. As soon as when I went to university, I didn't make any friends for like the first year, you know. And it's like, it's just, you know, I don't need to hear it, you know. And I would just rather not have even been there, you know. And of course, like, my family start feeding me fucking slop as soon as I get home, and I have to like see everyone. My mum like told like a bunch of people in my family that I was having like a reading week, which I've already had, so I mean that's a lie obviously, and that's the reason I was down. And it was like, just see everyone, so I had to like see a bunch of people in my family and like my grandparents and shit. And they were all like, oh, how's university going, you know. And I had to like lie to them. I had to be like, oh, it's great, you know, I'm just down to visit and shit. And it's like, I never agreed to this, you know. The one bonus of going though really is I did get a phone. Granted, it's like an iPhone. I don't even know what it is. It's like an iPhone 5 or an iPhone 8 or something. Like, it's a really old phone. Even though I do kind of prefer the older ones, to be honest. But like, I'm not complaining. Like, I really don't need a new phone. Like, I don't even really need a phone at all. I just need like a fucking flip phone, you know. That's all I like. And because obviously, like, I was the one who broke it, I'm not going to go to my mum and be like, hey, you know, I need a new phone or some shit. Because like, obviously I wouldn't need one if I hadn't been a retard, you know. Like, it's my fault, so I'm not gonna like complain about the quality of the phone. I'm grateful just to have one at all now, you know. But I'm just saying that's the phone I got. I've already like made sure like I'm not gonna do some stupid shit like that again. I made a promise I'm not gonna drink to myself again. And I broke that like the first night I came back, because I did come back, you know, spoiler for the rest of the video, I do end up like going back to university. But as soon as I got back, the night I got back, basically, well, I got back at like midnight, but the next night I went out like drinking and I got like just as drunk, if not more. So much for that. I don't know, maybe it will happen again, you know, because every time I say like I'm gonna make a change and I'm gonna be better in the future, it never lasts, you know. It never lasts. Like, the longest it's ever lasted was like 3 months, when I was like, I'm gonna do like nofap, and I actually did nofap for 3 months. And that's the longest like bout of self-improvement I've ever had. Everything else has been like more short-lived than that, you know. So I have no doubt that I'm gonna end up like fucking up again in some major way, but I don't know. Like I said, I'd also packed my laptop in my bag, and I'd put the audio on a USB for this video, and I'd already edited it down for the video to be uploaded, right? But I just had it on this USB. I just needed to add the gameplay, whatever, on my laptop and upload it when I had a Wi-Fi connection, except my laptop ran out of charge and I was too stupid to remember to bring the charger. So that was basically like useless to me. But this is like another thing that's important. This is like for the rest of the video, I guess. So I've been thinking for some time about changing my major. So right now I'm doing a STEM degree, and it's like a science degree. And I don't like care about the term STEM. Like, I don't think it's the be all end all of things, but I'm just saying like that's the term people use, so I'm just saying. And I would just change it from the science major I'm doing now to a very similar one, except it's just slightly different. I won't go into the details of it, at least not until I actually go through with it, because I don't think it's very interesting to anyone, really, not even me. But the point, you know, the reason this is relevant to this story is because if you want to change your major, I looked up, what you have to do is you have to speak to the director of the course that you want to change to, except I have no fucking idea how to talk to this guy. So what I figured I'd do is I'd talk to my tutor. Now, if you don't know, I don't know if this is like a thing at every university, but the way mine works is they give you, for certain courses, like I talked to Chang and he doesn't have this, but that's my other roommate, by the way. We, on our course, got given a tutor who's like this one teacher, and you get like 10 kids who they oversee, and they're just meant to help them. Like, if you have some question you don't know who to ask, you can go to your tutor. That's the idea, right? Anyway, I've had 2 sessions with my tutor so far. Bear in mind, I've been here for like 2 months now, so and my tutor looks, I call him Mr. Mackey because he looks exactly like Mr. Mackey. Like, I took photos of him, which is maybe a bit weird, because he was like, hey, take a picture of the board, and I took it so that he was like in it. But I'm not going to show them, obviously. Like, I wish I could show you, because I promise he looks exactly like Mr. Mackey. It's not even funny. He has like a perfectly round head, like an orange. You know, he's got like the frizzy like stuff around the side of his head, like a monk almost, except like he's balding like completely other than that. Like a pinhead. He has a really thin, long neck, and he has these like huge glasses on his head. I promise he looks exactly like him, and he always wears a green shirt as well, which doesn't help. But the thing is, the guy is completely useless, you know. Like, I emailed him like 2 weeks ago, saying I had like some questions about my course, and like I wanted to like talk to him, which is like the entire point of a tutor. And I still have, to this day, as I'm recording this video right now, to this day, he has not emailed me back about that, even though it's been like almost 3 weeks, I guess now. And we were supposed to have a session with him last Friday, so like what, 3-4 days ago, about some shit, and he had to like cancel that, so he rescheduled it for this coming Friday. And it's like, I can never get a hold of this fucking guy, but yeah, hopefully this next Friday I'm going to talk to him about like how to get in contact with this guy and how to change my major. And it's really not a very dramatic change at all, so I don't think like some of the content I've already like been like learning would also be on this new like major, so it's not like a dramatic change or anything. And it's not like yeah, I would have to catch up on some things, but the thing is, like, I have to catch up on some things in the course I'm on now because I haven't been doing any fucking work, so it doesn't, you know, change much. But the reason this is relevant to this story is because when I got back, I was telling my mum, I was like complaining to her about this guy, and he's like, oh, he still hasn't responded to me and shit. And my mum was like pissed off, and she was like, you know, we need your laptop and we need to talk to this guy. Except obviously my laptop doesn't work. So I said to her, oh, it's out of charge, you know, and I forgot the charger. But the thing is, like, I don't think I know for a fact she didn't believe me, because she took out the fucking laptop and she was like, oh, did you break this too? Because I told her about my phone. And the thing is, like, I didn't. But the thing is, it's kind of like fair that she would think that, because, you know, I did break my phone. And it's like, yeah, I don't know, I couldn't really get like annoyed about it, because it's like, I understand why she thinks that, but I could tell she didn't believe me as well. And the thing about my laptop as well is there's this like piece of plastic, like this kind of guard, where the obviously the screen like folds out from the keyboard, and like in between there's like a guard. And the thing is, like, months and months ago that broke off. This is an old laptop anyway, but a long time ago that guard like fell off, like revealing the bit in between, except it's really obvious that it's missing. Like, you can tell when you look at the laptop, like, there's a piece missing. And my mum was like, oh, did you break this? Where's this gone? Why is this missing? And I was like, that was ages ago, you know. And I pointed out, like, I haven't used my laptop in months because the university Wi-Fi doesn't like recognize the laptop for some fucking reason, you know. So, you know, that's where all my language stuff was. For anyone who remembers, I was doing like, I wouldn't even call it self-improvement, but just as a cope, I was like learning languages. I was doing like Russian, I was doing Japanese, I was doing German, and I was doing very well in them, you know. I could speak to a decent degree, and I had this thing called Anki. Maybe some people will know what this is, but it's like a software where you can make like flashcards or whatever. So I was making like words and learning them on this like software basically, except it needs the Wi-Fi to work. It needs to be able to connect to Wi-Fi to actually access the database of your cards. So when I couldn't connect to the Wi-Fi, I couldn't make any progress, and it would, and to this day, you know, I never figured that out. You know, I never figured out how to connect that to the Wi-Fi, so all my language shit has gone down the drain basically. Not that I would still be doing it probably, in all honesty, but, you know, it's still annoying. But yeah, I made the point to her, like, I haven't been using my fucking laptop for ages. And like, I could tell she didn't believe me, because she was like, well, where's this guy? Just, you're sure you didn't break it? And I was like, I said to her, like, I swear I didn't break it, but I don't know. I'm used to not being believed, especially by my mum, to be honest. That reminds me of this other time. I think for my like 10th birthday, I got like an iPod. Not like a phone one, but one of those tiny little ones that just plays music. Like, this is way back in the day. Well, not that long ago, but you know what I mean. And I ended up like losing it, and the thing is, my mum thought I'd brought it to school with me, and she's like, did you take it to school with you? Were you listening to music at school and stuff? Is that where you lost it? And I was like, no, and I actually hadn't, right? And I could tell for a fact my mum didn't fucking believe me. I think she actually just openly said to me, like, I don't believe you, which is brutal. But anyway, one day I was cleaning out my room a few years ago, and I found it in like this box somewhere, like it had just been there for all those years. And I showed her, and she was like, oh, well, fair enough, I guess you weren't lying. But the thing is, no matter how many times something like that happens, my mum still will never believe me, and no one will believe me. And, you know, I asked my mum, like, why no one ever believes me, and she's like, oh, it's because of your face, you know. And maybe it's like my cadence as well, and like how I talk and shit, but my mum says that, she's very self-aware of that, yet she herself doesn't believe me. So, you know, I don't know what to say about that, really, except it's just very lonely, you know, like, yeah, no access to the internet. Because if that happened to me like on a day-to-day basis, I would probably make like a community post about it or some shit, like complaining about it, just to get it off my chest, you know. But I couldn't even do that. It was like before I had my channel, and I just had to swallow the shit down. I couldn't talk about it in a video. I don't know, yeah. which like reminds me as well, like I'm very grateful to have my channel. And when I got my phone back and all that, and my Wi-Fi back, because that's the thing as well, all of my passwords and shit are stored on my laptop. So even though I got the YouTube app back on my phone and I had Wi-Fi, obviously, I couldn't sign into my channel and shit. I had to wait till I came back, so I couldn't even like make a community post. And it was fucking infuriating not being able to do that shit, not having like no idea what the fuck was going on. Again, it's all my fault. I'm not like mad at anyone except myself. I'm just saying, like, you know, that's what happened. But anyway, so my laptop wasn't working, so obviously because it's ran out of charge, so my mum ordered like a charger online, but she just put in like universal charger and ordered the first one that popped up, and it's like, you know, it's not necessarily going to fit into the thing, right? So it comes in the post like 2 days later, and it's got like a bunch of like different sizes of like I don't know what you call them, like you know, inserts that you put into the laptop to charge it. It's got a bunch of different sizes, and she tries them all, and she tries like ramming them into the fucking side of the laptop. And the thing is, I say to her, like, you're gonna break it, you know, just it's fine, I don't need it right now. Yeah, I know, like, because the whole reason she was doing this is because she wanted to use my laptop to email this tutor, this Mr. Mackey guy, to complain to him basically and tell him how bad he is at his job. And it's like, yeah, that's great. I'm sure he'll be just jumping out of his seat to help me as soon as I get back after he sent him an email like that. And I mean, she didn't get to send an email because none of these charges worked. And she was like, are you sure you didn't break it? And it's like, well, I didn't break it, but you've probably fucking broken it now. I didn't say that shit, obviously. But these things obviously didn't fit. And I was telling her, these aren't the same size. You know, don't worry about it. I'll just charge it when I get back. Anyway, here's the fucking thing. When I got back to university on like Wednesday or some shit, whenever I got back, I put my the little laptop chargy thing in it, and I don't know like if this is like for sure if this is true or not, but the thing is, I was using it on the train. It ran out of charge on the train, and then now it stopped working. The thing is, I think the only reason it stopped working is because my mum was ramming all these things into it, trying to like charge it with things that didn't fit. And I think she broke some kind of mechanism inside of the charging port that it needed to pick up this charge. I don't know. But like I said, it's not a huge blow to me. The worst thing was my passwords, which I was able to reset them all. That wasn't that big of a deal. And like I said, I haven't used my laptop in months anyway, so like it sucks that, you know, but that's not even my fault really, to be honest with you, because I can't take accountability for what my mum does, to be honest. Like, my mum told me this story once about how she like killed a hamster when she was a kid. Like, she was like looking at it in the pet shop, and she like dropped and its neck snapped, and she just put it back in. My mum's a fucking psychopath, actually, now I come to think about it. That's when she told me that story, I was only like 12, but like I remember like being really pissed off at her, because like I don't fuck with like the whole animal abuse thing, you know. I mean, who does? I know, but I'm just saying, like, I take it very seriously. Like, I care more about, like, if my mum had told me like she like punched some girl in the face when she was a kid, I would have cared less than about that. But you know, whatever. But I got like an actual like ticket this time to go back, like a legitimate ticket. I wasn't just like train riding, you know, trying to get out of like getting caught for not having a ticket. So I got on this like high speed train from London to all the way to where I was going, back to my university, and the whole journey was like 4 hours on this one train. There were a few smaller train rides on the way there, because like I don't live in the middle of London, obviously. Like, it's not like I can not just walk to the station, right? But I was on this train, and it was just a very annoying train ride back. Like, I got on, and there were these two like aggressively middle class women, like in their like 40s or 50s, and then they got off, and then it got really fucking busy, and there was like almost a fight on the train because they were trying to load everyone on. Like, if you've seen that shit that they do in like China or Japan or something, where they have all those fucking people they cram on the trains, and they like have those people that are hired to just push them on. Maybe they should do what they do in India, and they just like fucking let them ride on the top. I don't know, but there was almost like a fight because people were trying to get on the train. It was really fucking busy. Like, it's like that in London now, which, like, it's not surprising. It's the middle of London at like 5 p.m. Of course it's going to be busy, but fucking hell. And yeah, anyway, then I got on this it was quite a nice train, you know. It's like a high speed one-way train, so it was almost like being on an aeroplane, to be honest. Like, the way they did it, you know. I got to hand it to whoever, British Rail, is that who, I don't know, whoever's responsible for this shit. They did it, you know, quite well. But yeah, and then there were these like two like Gen Z like people that sat across from me on the table, like this man and this woman, and they were talking about the like
company, like just really aggressively, and they were talking about how like precious life is, and they're like, if this train crashed right now, what would you be thinking? And it's like, come on, don't be talking about this when there are fucking people on the train, we don't want to hear about this. And they were just really loudly swearing. Like, public swearing is one thing I really look down upon. I don't know, it's just like, it just reeks of like, it's like not putting the shopping trolley back, when you go shopping. It's like, there's no reason to, and there's no reason not to swear in public, but it just like reeks of like a lack of social responsibility. But then again, why give a fuck at all anymore? That's what I always think. It's like, I used to feel bad about like being a bit of a neat, even though I did have a job, like I felt like I wasn't contributing very much to society, and I'd slack off at work all the time, and I feel kind of bad about it. And that's part of the whole me trying to gaslight myself into like liking work, because I would try to tell myself, this is a great opportunity I have to work, I'm very lucky, all that shit. That's so fucking blue-pilled looking back. But and like such cope as well. But the thing is, part of my whole mindset was like, you should work hard. But the thing is, why work hard for a society that just outright rejects you and doesn't give a fuck about you? Why be socially responsible? You know what I mean? When it's like no one else just because you're a sub-5 male, no one else gives a fuck about you, even in the slightest, even a little bit. No one cares at all. I see it in my town as well. It's cold now, there's homeless people, and people just walk past. It's so easy for people to walk past, and I'm not like having a go, because obviously you walk past a homeless person. I'm not saying like every person who ignores a homeless person is like evil, because everyone does it, but I'm just saying like it's just proof that no one really cares about certain groups in society. But yeah, I mean, I got back fine enough, midnight, like I said. When I got back it was dark, and I mean it's getting dark at like 4 p.m. now, let alone midnight. But yeah, I don't know, it just like, I'd run away, basically. That's what I'd run away, and I had to like basically go back to my post. I deserted my post and I had to return to it. That's what it felt like, and that's kind of what I always am used to doing. It's like whenever I have a problem, I run away, in school. Like, I just like not stop going to class. I just go home, and I can't really run away from this, because if I fail, like I said, like my mum said, the thing is, my mum's right, even though that's not what I want to hear. My mum's right when she was like, if you drop out of university, you're just gonna have to move back in and just get a job, and like, she's right. That is what I'll do, and I will do everything in my power to avoid that, so I can't run away. Because if I keep running away, and if I keep like, I don't even want to use the word slacking off, but if I keep failing my fucking classes, that's the future that awaits me, and I just cannot. And maybe that's the future that awaits me anyway, because it's a university degree. It's like the bare minimum, it's not like you're going to escape the matrix or whatever. Not that I even believe in that shit necessarily, but I'm just saying, like, it's not like you're going to be able to do that just with a university degree. It's like when people say, go to the gym max, bro, get in good shape, and then you'll get girls. It's like, that's the bare minimum. That's what everyone's already doing. Everyone is going to university and getting like a liberal arts degree. It doesn't mean anything, But who knows? I don't know. Yeah, anyway, I'm back at university, studying again and shit. Gonna try and change my major, and yeah, that's pretty much it.